Hey folks, welcome to the Get Real Safety Podcast, where we'll discuss the new view of safety, the things that work, the things that don't work, and try to break down old view paradigms to help you improve safety performance in your organization. I'm Mike McCarroll.
And I'm Pam Fisher, and we are partners at PROSAFE Solutions, and we're looking forward to sharing our experiences on this journey of changing views of safety. In this podcast series, we are going to be exploring some of the new thinking, and in some cases revolutionary thinking, about how to manage safety. We'll also be interviewing some other safety professionals who are on this journey as well.
The fact is that safety is changing. In light of current science, modern safety management theory, and the new view of human performance, it's imperative that organizations stay on the cutting edge of current knowledge.
So Mike, why don't you tell them what Get Real stands for?
Well, REAL is an acronym. It's based on the largest study ever conducted on employee engagement and employee motivation. We'll discuss REAL a lot more in later podcasts, but in a nutshell, the R stands for respect, the E stands for equity, A stands for acknowledgement, and L stands for leadership. The components of REAL lie at the heart of every sustainable continuous improvement effort.
For the safety folks out there listening, sharing some of these podcasts with your management might help you pave the way to making some cultural change. Here at ProSafe, we spend our time conducting culture assessments, doing training and consulting in HP and leadership with our clients, and we also serve as adjunct faculty at Georgia Tech, teaching advanced safety management and human performance.
For those not yet familiar with human performance, it's an operating philosophy that represents the new view of systems thinking. Human performance is a refreshing new approach that recognizes all humans make errors and that focusing on fixing the worker is doomed to fail. Fix the system, not the worker.
Mike, let's talk a little bit about our background and history and let people know who we are and how we got to where we are today.
Well, I started out working in safety in the nuclear industry.
Yes, you did, and you actually started as a paramedic.
I did. I was a paramedic prior to that, and that's kind of what got me into the nuclear industry. I was working on a very large nuclear construction project. They needed advanced life support. And so the deal was if I would help them to start an advanced life support service, since they had a full-time EMS unit right on the job site, that they would train me into construction safety. And so I got into construction safety, stayed in that a number of years. After I got out of the nuclear industry, I went into bridge and highway construction, stayed in that a number of years, and then became a corporate safety director for a large general contractor here in the Atlanta area. Did that for a number of years and then moved into the insurance industry. Worked for two different major insurance companies, liked it a lot, but after a few years decided to start ProSafe. And we really framed ProSafe as a management consulting firm to help clients improve safety performance. A lot of that was based on what we learned in all of those years, as well as the insurance years, that all just kind of came together to be able to create this base to provide services for clients.
And what was amazing is that our tracks were so parallel, and that I started out of college as a registered nurse and ended up as a construction field nurse in nuclear construction, but 3,000 miles away from where you were at the time. That had a lot of influence on my thoughts about safety, coming from a nursing background where it's a helping profession. And I still believe that today. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be helping people, not catching people doing something wrong. So fortunately, that thinking is coming full circle at this time. So I also worked for a large general contractor, international contractor, and ended up here in Atlanta where you and I eventually met. And what's not secret from everyone, but we'll let everybody in the podcast know here, we're not only partners at ProSafe, we are partners in life. We are married and have been married the same length of time that we have managed ProSafe Solutions. When we first met working for the insurance industry, as you mentioned, I got an opportunity to work in insurance and wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And the exciting thing about it was that's where I learned about concepts such as accountability and the importance of safety management, because it was all regulatory, it was all field focused in my life and in construction itself. And I got really excited about some of those new ideas. We were on kind of the forefront of things with the START program, behavioral safety, and other programs that were considered cutting edge at the time.
I had a similar revelation about there's something wrong with the way we practice safety when I was working in the nuclear construction industry. I distinctly remember one morning walking through a reactor containment building and a bunch of pipe fitters up in the racks giving this submarine ooga horn and yelling to each other, "Safety man, 30 yards in closing, put on your safety glasses." And that's when it kind of dawned on me that this whole crime and punishment enforcement practice of safety, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, but you adapted to it better than I did, because I also remember you saying you really kind of got used to marching a half a dozen pipe fitters to the gate. Of course, when you told me that, you didn't know that my father was a pipe fitter, along with my grandfather.
And he doesn't appreciate that story very much.
No, he doesn't.
You know, just listening to this, for the average listener, you probably, it kind of gives the impression that our whole background is in construction. We handled many, many different clients, and since we've been running ProSafe, we've got clients from virtually every industry out there. We've done things with the manufacturing, we've done things with the military, and so, and when it comes to human performance and all the advanced safety management concepts, they translate to every industry, not just the construction industry.
Yeah, that was something that was pretty surprising to me as well, because I thought that construction was just so unique. And then I remember probably my first time at visiting a chemical plant, and I realized that chemical plant workers aren't any different than construction workers, and we're all just people. You talked about starting ProSafe for a number of years, and I remember listening to you and listening to your frustration. And I felt the same frustration, especially when we were in the insurance industry, and we were dictated to as to how safety should be managed. And we both thought, no, there's new ways, there's some new thinking out there. And you finally couldn't take it anymore and dived out into starting the business, and then I came along not after. And I don't think either one of us has ever looked back.
Yeah, I think I kind of got tagged as a corporate renegade at one time because I just couldn't deal with the corporate views, especially in the insurance industry, where there was much more focus about just glad handling with the customer and providing just basic services rather than helping the clients with things that actually work.
Which is pretty ironic, given that you were at that time considered a corporate renegade and I was kind of the model employee. And now you tend to be looked at more as the corporate expertise, and I'm still the safety heretic.
And let's talk a little bit about this heretic thing. Pam sort of is a heretic, and explain that.
Well, I think I'm just a bold speaker, and then when things don't work, I just can't tolerate not saying, hey, this is BS. And you'll have some follow-up podcasts along those lines, like employee buy-in being BS and safety stand-downs are stupid, and a few things like that, which are pretty controversial on their face. But I think if you'll give me a chance, you'll hear where I'm headed with that. It's not all just about safety around here. We do have some other interests. I like to do some art and crafts and hang out with my dog. And right now I'm trying to learn how to carve and make some wood spirits, which is pretty cool. The music that you hear in these podcasts are original clips from Mike's other passion. Yep, in his spare time, he plays and records some pretty awesome music. In fact, these podcasts are coming to you from his new studio. Please follow us at ProSafeSolutions.com on LinkedIn or on your favorite podcast app, and share these podcasts with others. If you'll also please subscribe and leave us a comment, but only if it's a good one. Please stay tuned in and listen to podcast number 1, a somewhat controversial topic on the fallacy of zero. Thanks, and go out and save a life today.